Welcome back, everybody. This is the BadBloodPodcast, live from the AK studios. Matty, how you doing?
Not too bad, mate. Plodding on, surviving.
Plodding on, surviving? Talk about surviving. We've got a man who survived hell from Ashington, Nick Dunn, wrongly imprisoned, one of the Chennai Six. Nick, how are you?
I'm great, thank you very much. Thanks for bringing me on your show today.
You're welcome.
No,
man.
it's a pleasure to have you
on, man. Looking toned there.
Well, I'm trying my best to just keep my exercise up. It's more like a mental health kind of thing for me nowadays, instead of just looking big and muscular. So yeah, keeping fit's a big part of my mental aspects in life now.
It's got to be, you've got to do it, man. That's the best way. Keep your mind active all the time. But Nick, you've been through hell, mate. I've read the book firsthand. Like, it rattled us to me core. We're just going to do a little revisit here. Like, Nick was wrongly imprisoned for 4 years, but on top of that, there wasn't even a crime committed. Not a single one, was there, mate?
No, there was definitely not a crime. It was more like a setup and made an example of by the Indian government for, unfortunately, two Italians' mistake of killing some Indian fishermen off the coast of Kerala. We paid the ultimate price. They made an example of us and put us in prison. And like what you said, no crime was committed whatsoever.
Not a single crime was committed, but yet, I've got it here. There was a 2,158-page charge sheet, wasn't there? Just nothing that could have you though, is there?
It was just a waste of cutting down trees to create that absolute nonsense. And majority of that paperwork was calls made from the ship to the company, which had no relevance to what they were trying to do in the case whatsoever. It was just pointless. It was to make it look good, to make it look like they had something against her when they clearly didn't.
Just to bring people up to speed, Nick was in the armed forces for a long time, and then he ended up getting a job at AdvanFort over on it's an American company, anti-piracy company. Nick, how did all that come about?
Obviously, being in the parachute regiment and doing, operations with UKSF, quite a lot of the people I got to know in the military, they decided to go into private security, and the main thing was either working, say, in Iraq or Afghanistan, or something that came blooming out of nowhere, and it was combating piracy in the Gulf of Aden, mainly targeting Somali pirates, stopping them from hijacking vessels. So the clients would get in touch with these maritime companies and hire us to board these vessels and make sure that the vessel with its cargo and crew went from A to B without getting attacked, or if they did get attacked, we would be there to defend the crew. So it was one of those opportunities that I thought, why not? Why not? Mm-hmm. I went to different countries, got to meet some amazing crew from around the world, which in an everyday job you never get to experience. So I enjoyed it. Money at the time was great, but I enjoyed the job in hand.
How great was the money?
Well, at the time I was doing it was really good money.
Good money.
I was pretty comfortable, and obviously at the time being single with no dependents, it was all mine, and I could live a single man's life, so to speak. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
On that dreadful night, how did it all unfold?
Well, we had ceased operations, and the vessel I was on needed fuel and provision. So obviously our company hires a guy on land, basically, who jacks up, getting fuel and food and water for the vessel. And we just moved to a position outside of India, and then we got a vessel to come to us because it's more expensive going to port for the company. And what a lot of people don't realise, a lot of these vessels have accreditation. And as far as I remember, like I said, don't quote me on this, but our vessel wasn't legally able to go into the port itself. So our obviously company sets up clients, bringing us fuel, bringing us water, etc., and it just was one of those days where you think, this is all right, I'll go to sleep. Next minute I'm getting rudely woken saying we've been boarded by the Coast Guard from Tamil Nadu and we're getting escorted to the port. So it was kind of like, what on earth's going on?
Yeah.
Like,
What was running through your head when all this was happening?
Stay calm. We were told to basically keep out the way, only get spoken to if they call for you individually, which they did on a few occasions for a few guys. But I was just thinking, is me family all right? Am I all right? What actually is happening? And I wasn't getting a lot of information, just paperwork. We're going to sort paperwork. Because in these countries, this happens. You'll go to, like, even when I was on client vessels, we'll go to ports, basically either dropping off cargo or picking up new cargo. They would board the vessel and say, go to the captain, right, how many cases of alcohol do you have? How many cases of cigarettes do you have? And that was kind of a bribery and a bit of cash. So in these countries, bribery is just second nature. So we were just thinking maybe they just wanted a little bit of money and would be on our own way, check the paperwork, everything hunky-dory, and then that would be it. But it clearly wasn't none of the sort.
So how, when the mood on that ship at that time, how fast did it go from like you being the working to under arrest? Is it pretty much on the...
Well, when we got escorted to the port of Tuticorin, we had been boarded by umpteen different companies. Someone's obviously told them we are bigger than Ben-Hur, because there was companies from Mumbai, and there's no way they could have gotten to where we were in a couple hours. Not a chance. This has been a planned seizure exercise. Yeah. I am strongly 100% honest when I say this. We've been set up. There's absolutely no way they could have all been waiting at that. When we came into that port on the morning of the 12th of October 2013, we had on that port side a welcome committee. I must have easily counted over 50 people, and that was minus the media as well. They were thinking, wow, what have we got here? And it was absolutely totally disgusting, because you're thinking, if there's media there, it's going to go online. What if my family finds out?
Yes.
And
how did the news filter back home to your family?
A few of the Estonian guys had just were doing a little bit of Google search, and they came across it. And as we all know, our UK media has counterparts around the world. And funny enough, ITV, they had their guys in India hearing about it. So they kind of filtered it through. And I remember receiving a phone call off my dad, and they'd seen an article printed by the Indian media saying we were selling weapons to basically fishermen or potential terrorists, or on another occasion we were potentially going to be doing a Mumbai-style attack on the nuclear power plant. They were just absolutely telling the biggest porcupines. Something nearly what this year's been like as well. But to have your family members say, Nick, I want the truth now. Are you selling weapons? And I had to say to my dad, no, I'm protecting these people. That's my job, protection.
Because these Indian anti-piracy people, they weren't going through the correct procedures or anything. They were just firing at will, weren't they?
Oh, yes. India was very disheartened because during the NATO anti-piracy task force, India were just murdering fishermen. They weren't even identifying them as terrorists or threats or pirates. They were just they got kicked off. They literally got kicked off, and they were not happy. And then obviously the 2 Italian Marines in July 2012 off the coast of Kerala, they didn't do their job properly. You know, before you even pull a trigger, you go through a few procedures. They've just basically killed 2 Indian fishermen, and the Indian government were not very happy. They wanted someone to take the fall, and unfortunately, we just fell into place, and they were licking their lips. They were basically doing backflips, slapping each other's hands, saying, we've got them. And that's what one of their admirals said in a news conference, we've got them. And I was like, got who? Who do you think we are?
Actually got?
So, absolutely crazy.
The prison conditions must have been absolutely horrendous.
I was just about to get onto that. I saw the Instagram pictures, and it actually is something you would see out of a film.
Terrible.
Yes, the pictures that I uploaded once my book came out, I took them with a spy pen. And they were the second prison. Obviously, unfortunately, I couldn't get any pictures from the first prison, but hellish conditions. You had sanitary issues. We got ill. There was rats.
It really did look like the slums.
Oh,
from the pictures that I saw, like
the pictures that I've uploaded, they are not from Google. They are literally first-hand what I had to witness every day whilst I was in prison. They are legitimate, and to see what our prisons are like in the UK.
It's like a luxury hotel.
I'm sorry, I've had people from Durham prison say to me, Nick, I don't know how you survived in there. I said, well, never did I, but I had to. I had no choice.
All the special elite training, I'm sure all that come into it massively.
Yes,
it would have broke any normal man.
My military training definitely helped me, because being in the military, you assess a situation. I had to assess my situation when going into the prison, right? Even just for the small thing of, right, this is where I'm going to put my bed space or my sheet at the beginning. And let's get myself into a routine. Always try and do stuff while you've got a healthy mind, because if you leave it, you're going to start and think low thoughts. You know, you're going to think of your family back home. There wasn't a day that I never thought of my family. Definitely not. I miss my family so much. I cried myself to sleep.
Many men would.
Many nights. I'm only human. I'm an innocent man being thrown in a prison for a crime I had not committed. Why wouldn't I cry? Just because I may have a few muscles doesn't mean I don't have emotions.
You're only human, mate. And for the people watching that, how long were you held away from your family? How long were you in this situation for?
Just over 4 years. So it started October 2013. So the 12th of October 2013, and I landed in Newcastle Airport on the 7th of December 2017. A long time to be in a different...
Never going to get back?
They're not, yeah, I spent 4 years in India. I spent 3 Christmases and birthdays in prison, and my sister came to visit me on 3 of them birthdays, and the final visit she brought me dad over. because I was begging, because my dad's 74 now and I was sentenced to 5 years. I'd still literally be in prison to this day if we didn't win our appeal. And I was really low. I needed a boost of confidence. I needed morale. And when my sister and my dad surprised us, because I was busy training in my little Flintstone gym, and I got told I had a parcel, and it wasn't. It was my dad and my sister. And it just basically from rock bottom to feeling top of the world. But then obviously once they had to fly back to the UK after a few days visit, reality hit again. And crying yourself to sleep again. And it was just every day was a struggle. Every day you just had to make amends. Every day you had to keep going, not give in. And people who supported me got me through it. I couldn't have done this on my own. You know, and I thank everyone who supported me.
It
from
was
the bottom of
torturous.
my heart.
Torturous. We think we had it hard in lockdown.
Exactly.
We genuinely did. We genuinely did think we had it hard in lockdown.
I'd have been losing their minds over it, being stuck in a house.
But what you went through was absolutely hell.
How is Lisa anyways? Because in the book, she went through a lot. I mean, big shout out to Lisa.
God.
She restores faith in humans for me. I mean, absolutely
Yeah.
non-stop work. Brilliant.
Oh,
Me sister Lisa's just on another level. She had to take time off work because 5 days before Christmas 2013, my mum suffered a double aneurysm whilst I was in prison. So not only she had to deal with my mum's situation, she then had to obviously deal with my situation. Then she had to deal with the media. And I make a joke of this, but it actually can be a reality now. But I always said if my sister could ever join an army regiment, she'd have to be a paratrooper because she shows grit and determination, and that's what you need to be a parachute regiment soldier. But obviously, as we know, women can join the infantry now, but I doubt it. They'll join my regiment though.
Rough.
Too hard, I think. But no, my sister, I am in a debt to her I'll never be able to repay. And I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be the man I am today if it wasn't for her.
Lisa was she was the one out there getting in touch with the media and getting all that stuff, so it wasn't the campaigns and stuff like that.
Oh, she spearheaded the campaign. Yeah, the other families of the Chennai Six, they did their part, but my sister never had a break.
Non-stop.
She made a pledge. She made a promise. If I can get my brother home, I get everyone home. Obviously, yes, the courts and all other things that got her home, but my sister got it in the public eye as best as she could. A lot of people might think, well, she went to the media. No, it wasn't. The media found out about her and they got in touch. So, you know, it was just, my sister went, how do I raise awareness? She was doing the Great North Run with vests with my name on, had a page called Help Nick Home. So she was trying to get a lot of publicity with that, and just obviously she wanted to get everyone home. Obviously ours are focused with being a brother and all that, but I don't know how she did it. She was gained the nickname Small and Mighty because she's only dinky, but her aura is tenfold. It's just amazing. And like I said to you just before, I'm in a debt I'll never be able to repay.
She's an absolute diamond.
An inspiration.
Real inspiration, mate. Real inspiration.
Just going to take a little time out to mention some of our sponsors. We're brought to you by Mr. Bloom's Black Oil Seed Mechanics. We're also brought to you by Spartan BK FightClub. Shout out to Christian and the boys.
I want to give a massive shout out to Paul and Rachel. They're the owners of the YOLO Lounge over in Albufeira, Portugal. It's got 3 floors, secret garden with a featuring a waterfall, a VIP romantic cave, roof terrace, and it's got views across the old town square. They're helping us through our journey, and to be honest, they couldn't do much more for us. So thank you over to the YOLO Lounge.
So Nick, what you doing to exercise these demons? Clearly you're training very hard each day.
Obviously, I do have a little few mental scars. I'm not going to lie. Thankfully, I'm not having nightmares or anything like. But there is a few times where I am having restless nights. Obviously, I do have me down days, and they're tough. They're not just a couple hours or a day. They are like a few days. I've not long just had a few down days because just things happening in my life in general, and my morale just plummeted, and I just felt sick in my life. I really did. I just thought, I can't do this no more. I've had enough. I've had enough, and I know it's not a nice thing to say, and it's not a nice thing to go through. And I've got a fantastic, loving family, and I've got good friends, and they can see the dangers. They can see me mood swings changing. There's no aggression. It's just I'm happy and I'm sulking, and I don't know why. I can't explain it. There's times where I'm very forgetful. I would literally walk in different rooms looking, like, say I might have lost my keys, but I haven't lost my keys because I know where they are, but I'm just walking into different rooms trying to just think of something. I'm missing something, I should be doing something, but it's just like a roller coaster at times, and sometimes I just want it to stop and get off, and I am seeking help. I've been getting some phone calls from some fantastic people that I know, and they're helping us out, and mental health is a big thing, and a lot of people suffer it. I'm ex-forces. I got blown up in Afghanistan. Luckily, I came out unscathed, and I went through 4 years of just constantly mental torture, and it does leave scars. It does, and I've been home nearly 3 years now, and this is the battle. This is how I have to deal with it, and like I say, I've got a fantastic family, and they help me along the way as well.
Does this motivate you to want to help other people?
Yes, in my book, I hope people could take something from it in a form of, say, resilience and a never give up attitude. There's many times that during the time in India I wanted to throw the towel in. The amount of times when I was in the hostel, I was crying on the phone to my dad, saying, I'm escaping, I've had enough, I've had enough, I can't do this no more. But I didn't. I knuckled down, I cracked on. I know that you shouldn't really say stuff like that nowadays, but I had no other option. I was on my own. Yes, I was with other colleagues, but you're still on your own. You know, I'm not with people I really know. I'm not with my family. I haven't got my family to put an arm around us and say, come on, you can get through this. I had to let me do it. Obviously, people's amazing support, people writing from around the world to us in prison, that helped a lot as well. But yeah, I hope I could share my experiences to other people who may be finding it tough in their life. And hopefully I can help them achieve their goals and you know, not falling and sinking into that bottomless pit and unable to get out. I had to go to hell to see the light. The many times there was that light at the end of the tunnel getting brighter and brighter and brighter, and then the Indian government and judicial system would like move it further away. But I kept on going forward.
Refused to be broken.
Yes, I refused to be broken. A lot of people said to us, Nick, you've still got your sense of humour. I said, I came out of that prison with my head held high, my hair down to my shoulders nearly, and pride. Something that they would never take away from me. I even think to this day how I just didn't give in. Sometimes you don't realise how mentally strong you are until you are faced
until that's the only option you've got.
A situation that it requires you to break their mental boundaries and walls, and I lost count on how many, because we went through so many setbacks.
You were just hit after wall after wall after wall, weren't you?
Oh, I lost count.
When I was reading the book, I couldn't actually believe the way yous were treating that Indian prison, like the sick jokes and that, like that would have mentally crippled anyone, to be honest. But you're still here and you're running it.
Like I mentioned in the book, where the jailer in the first, before we got bail, came down on his bike and said, "Yeah, get your stuff. You're getting released." So, and we're like, "What?" So everyone packed our bags or whatever belongings we had. We all went down to the main gate where the superintendent, and the superintendent came out and went, "What are you doing?" He's told we were getting released. He went, "No, you're not." And it didn't give him wrong or anything. Like, he just stood there laughing. And we're like...
Mental torture.
What? So then a couple of days later, when we actually got bail, we refused to leave.
Until someone from the...
Till the superintendent literally came up to the compound and said, "Will you get out of my prison?" But...
How often do you see the other 5?
I may talk to one or two of them on social media, but I left my door open in India. If anyone wants to speak to me, my door's always open.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm true when I say to this. You could have put 2 lifelong friends in our situation, they'd not be friends today.
Yeah.
We went through our own mental boundaries. We all went through our own way of hurt. Yeah. I lost my auntie when I was in prison. I nearly lost my mum. Few of our few of the other guys lost family members. One of the guys had to sell his holiday home in Portugal. A lot of us went through difficult times. Yeah. I can only speak for myself. I did witness other people, going through their way of dealing through things, and I hope that they are finding life now a lot better.
Yeah. There would have been a lot of pent-up frustration all stuck in the same place.
There was frustration, there was arguments, there was a few squabbles and a few little fisticuffs, but that's normal. Yeah. We're all hurting, we're all basically missing our families. That's expected. Yeah. And obviously testosterone flying would be men, so... But,
are you involved with any campaigns or anything at the moment?
I'm not as directly involved in certain campaigns, but there is a few campaigns out there that I closely watch. Yeah. There's a guy I know, Jordan Wiley. He's going around the whole of the UK on a board, paddling around, raising money, because he does a lot of stuff around Somalia and other countries who don't have a good education. He wants to make sure they have a good education, etc. And he did he raised a lot of awareness for me. I closely watch a few others, and I'd just like to say that the army officer who's just completed going around from the UK barefoot to try and raise money for his daughter who's got an incurable disease. I'd like to say thank you for inspiring a lot of people, because that's what he's done, and he's not doing it because he's in the military. He's doing it as a father for his daughter, and what father would not do that for their child? So anyone who's been watching him, please donate. It's an absolutely amazing story, and it just goes to show you when you're faced with something, you never know what you can do in life.
Yeah. Do you know when you were locked up in India, you weren't really getting any, you were getting nothing off our government, were you? You were living off drips and drabs from friends, families, and campaigns set up to help you, weren't you?
Yeah, the British government doesn't directly fund you at all. I've got no bad thing to say about the consular staff who came in to visit me in prison. I thank them. They did fantastic. I have no problem with them. As a British government, I felt they let us down in 2014. We were cleared of all charges. We were free men, and in Indian law, we during the 90-day appeal process didn't require to be in India. And the British government's response was, we'll wait and see if they appeal.
Well, you knew that wasn't going to... They were going to do it right at the last second. They were going to make you wait for it.
They basically appealed on day 88, which was an absolute sucker punch. It broke a lot of men morale there. And we just looked at the government and went, what are you doing? You could have had us home. Even though there is, you know, the extradition set up between England and India, if we'd gotten back to the UK then, there's absolutely no way the UK would entertain India.
Yeah.
Do you honestly think I would go back to India if I was brought back? No.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Not happening.
I've not even committed a crime, so why would I go back?
Exactly.
There is one thing that I did say, if I did lose me mum, I would have wanted to be there for the funeral, and I would have signed any amount of paperwork to come back to India after the funeral. I would have done that, but my mum survived, thankfully. But if obviously it went the other way, I wouldn't be here today. That's that's the truth, and it really hit me hard. And I have to live with her condition today. She can't really speak properly, and my last ever phone conversation where I could hear her speak properly was me telling her I was getting arrested and getting removed off the vessel. So that's a demon I have to live with. People have said, well, you need to put it to bed, you need to get on with it, you need to be grateful she's still alive. I said, you have no idea what goes through my head. That to me kills me and eats up every day of my life. Every time I see her and I hear her trying to mutter certain words, it just breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because I feel powerless. And whilst I was in India, I felt powerless because my sister was doing it all on her own and I couldn't be there to help. So
the emotion in your eyes is...
It's still deep. Raw. It's still raw, and I have to go to a level to keep the tears from exploding because it's an emotional roller coaster. Anyone who's read my book or hopefully going to read it, please experience the emotion in it because it's raw and you can see it from me now, and I can't put crocodile tears on. This is raw emotion, and it's still like yesterday. I am getting on with my life. I only look back to see how far I've come. Exactly. Or if I have to refer to things. Like, once I've done all this, I'm full steam ahead. Back on life, getting on with my life. I'm not letting things derail me. I'm not letting what's happening in the current climate stop me from achieving whatever goals I've got set out for myself. But I just want to get on with my life as best as I can. And I've been given an opportunity, and you don't get many opportunities in life.
Nah. Especially not what you've been through, Nick. And I thank you myself for to bring yourself back down to this level where you've got to go through all this again for this show.
Oh, it's totally fine.
But this story needs the recognition it deserves. It does. Where can you buy the book from? I got it from Amazon.
You can. The main places is obviously Amazon. You can get it from Mirror Books website. You can get it from Waterstones, actually on site, in the shop or online, and other third-party websites as well. But Amazon is the main place to get the book. That's where a lot of people's been buying it. Hopefully, Asda gets me paperback version when that comes out next month.
So obviously, COVID's it's put everybody's life a bit of a misery.
It has,
schedules and stuff like that. You had book signings. You had events. TV. Radio.
Have you managed to reschedule any dates for this?
My publishing team's trying to get through and give me a second bite of the cherry for when my paperback comes out next month, because they feel like it's been a bit, unfair that I've missed all this opportunity, and hopefully with the relaxing of the lockdown, we can hopefully achieve that, and fingers crossed. But I'm up for doing anything to try and spread awareness for mental health, promote me book, and obviously I'm up for doing anything as well. And I'm glad you got back in touch for a second round.
We'll have to have you in here. We'll have to have you in here.
I definitely wouldn't have. I wouldn't have been settled if I didn't get you in here, like Nick. 100%. Well, I'm going to do another couple of sponsors actually. Also brought to you by NuHemp.co.uk. They're a CBD company. They've got many products, ranging from everything really. Gummy bears, they've got vape cartridges, they've got everything. Take a look over on their website as well. They've even got like a little lab result. They've even got a blog there to see how other people's been benefited by CBD. Go over, check it out, newhemp.co.uk, and we've got a discount code for 15% here, and that's plain and simple, capital letters, Lee, newhemp.co.uk.
I want to give a quick shout out to Steve Stone over at Governor Sports and Nutrition. Pretty self-explanatory really, sportswear, fightwear, training wear, proteins, weight gains, fat burners, all that kind of stuff, and he's on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of that. We've got Hunter supplements, pretty much the same. Michael Hunter, nutrition supplements, and he's on all social media platforms as well. And the last one for the day is Empire Prince. That's Stephen Lengen. You can find him on Facebook. Stag do tops,
fight apparel.
It's printing stuff, all that. So go check them out.
So Nick, how long are you going to be doing the promotional tour? Are you going to keep at it? Or are you going to stick at it? Or
well, I'm trying. Obviously, like I say, I'm still new in the game, and obviously with the whole COVID, there is quite a lot of people that haven't heard about my story and might not be aware that I do have a book out. So I'm going to obviously with conjunction with me publishing team, hopefully explore new avenues, try and get it out as best I can. And if anyone is interested, my email address is November1CharlieKilo86@hotmail.co.uk. So basically it's just Nick with a 1, 86. It's second nature talking phonetic when I've been ex-army and all that. But if anyone's interested, send me an email. But I'm easily to, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
What's your Twitter handle? Nick Dunn 1986.
I think it is, yes. I keep, like I say, I'm terrible for remembering things.
We're going to push the book from our side as well. We're going to constantly put that out there.
When people go, what's your Twitter handle? I'm like that. Nick Dunn 86. Nick, type in Nick Dunn. I should be the first one that comes up. There's not many Nick Dunns out in the world.
Well, not many with books, anyways.
And my books like either my picture or background picture, I'm easy, and it's all set to public, so I'm not hidden or anything, so I'm easy to find. But if anyone's interested in to personally buy a signed copy from myself or any other things, whether they want to get me on other podcasts or of any opportunities, I'm up for it. I will have to obviously speak with my agent, etc. But
I'm man. Down in Wigan, Jimmy O, big shout out to you, pal. I may have a guest for you.
But I'm definitely open to a lot of opportunities and suggestions, etc. I'm a very approachable guy, and I just want to share my experience, and hopefully, if I can help one person,
it's worth it.
It's worth it. And I've gone through a rough ride. There's obviously a lot of people out there suffering, whether they're having,
from all walks of life, really.
Yeah, if I can try my best to give them a bit of spirit and a bit of the never give up attitude, like I had to give myself, then I'm all for that. Like I say, I didn't do this journey on my own. I had help from people's amazing support around the world. Most importantly, my sister. So, yeah, it would be great to help others as well.
Huge shout out to Lisa, by the way. Hopefully one day we've got you sitting on the famous Red City.
Well, that must actually take place. Would you be up for that, Nick? You and your sister
I will
coming
try and get her. She doesn't work weekends now, so weekends is more of a easier day for her because she
It'd be
works
very
Monday to
interesting,
Friday.
like.
But my sister, like I say, there's still a lot of stuff that I don't know what happened in the UK, and when I've read some of her chapters in the book, it kind of hits home on the levels she had to go through. I had to endure my hell. She went through hell beyond hell, and how she came out and survived that and to carry on with her life now is just unbelievable, and she's a true inspiration.
Could we see your sister doing a book?
I'm not too sure. I think that's why she kind of chucked a few chapters in on mine, which when we went through it and they said, oh, do you mind bringing your sister into doing parts of your book? I thought, yeah, because it gives two different sides to the story, and it's not just me going and talking.
And the family side and how it's affecting everybody else.
Exactly. I don't, to this day, know hardly what went on. There's just, even when my sister was writing us in prison, I couldn't keep up. She couldn't, things was happening, especially when it was leading up to court dates, things was going so quick. And then the delay in me letters, there was one time I got a letter of her in 5 days, another, it took a month. So I was so really behind on everything. She just couldn't keep us up to date. And it was just unbelievable at times, the communication levels. And then even the embassy was still behind because they didn't know what was going on half the time. But luckily we had the prison phones so we could ring our lawyer and find out what is actually happening. If you want to know the truth, you hear it from the horse's mouth, don't you? You know, that there's so many, oh, well, I heard this, I heard that. And I'm like, all right, okay, fair enough. That's totally false, but never mind. But yeah, my sister's just an inspiration, and back in 2018, she won an award with a sunshine or whatever it's called again. I can't remember what it's called, but she won an award, and I got up and presented because I knew she won.
All right.
I had to get up, and they were going through the nominations of the category, and they got me on stage to present the award. And
how weird was that?
It was weird because I was stood in like over 300 people, mainly women as well, and I think I brought nearly them all to tears with giving them a bit of spiel of why my sister is getting this award, and it was truly amazing, and everyone literally stood up and clapped for her when she was walking to the stage. And like I say, she's an inspiration. She's made of tough stuff.
Oh, aye.
Tough stuff. She's a different breed altogether. I thought I was tough. She makes me look like nothing. I haven't got a.
I don't know.
I don't know how she does it. I'm on that. I'm speechless because it must be just in my blood to never give up. But you've got to be faced with adversity to experience it, to know what you're. And I say this with everyone as well. You never know what your strengths are till you're faced with adversity in life, and we're capable of doing so much, but we just need a little helping hand now and again.
Human brain is an amazing tool.
It is.
It's an amazing tool. On a lighter note, Nick.
Yes.
Since we've got to wrap up shortly.
No problem.
I know you're a big Man U fan. How happy were you with him finishing third?
After going into lockdown and the season, we weren't on the best of form, and then coming out of lockdown, we were probably the best team in the world after lockdown. Bruno Fernandes, absolutely tremendous. And to have a full team back. I'm a bit annoyed we haven't wrapped up the Sancho deal yet, but I think we're just playing because we've got time on my hands. Finishing third is an achievement. Obviously, we want to be winning the league at some point. That's what we're all about.
Can you with Ollie?
Yes, I definitely think
With
we
this
can.
team?
Not with this team. We have to buy more players. We have to strengthen our depth because our depth is getting old and not as good. You need to be like a Man City. You need to have a good A team and a good B team. Liverpool, do I think they'll win the league next season? No, not a chance.
I don't think they'll win.
They'll not, especially when we've got the best strike force in the world. Proven. But no, my last game I went to watch Man United was against Newcastle at Old Trafford. Boxing Day.
Terrible move.
It was actually great. It was great. It was great for me. I won 2 football bets and I spent 400 quid and I was sick as a chip the next day.
Sounds like a good night.
I was meant to be taking my father-in-law down there to see the Bournemouth game in April, but obviously COVID wrecked it. It was for his 70th.
Yeah.
So I was gutted.
This year has been crackers.
Been a write-off, hasn't it?
It's been, you know when someone writes the big events that happened each year, I think he's just going to go, I'm just going to miss 2020 out. Start a fresh January 2021. But it's weird because so much was so planned this year. There was amazing films coming out in the cinema. We had the Olympics, the football tournament. You know, unbelievable things were happening this year, and it's just been ruined. And will we ever find out the truth in it? Probably not. We're just got to do what our masters say, so to speak, or not. But I just take each day as it comes now, anyways.
What's your take on COVID?
I
know it's a pretty controversial.
I won't go too much into the political side of it, but I think it's been a big lie of a lot of things.
Blown out of proportion.
It's been massively blown out of proportion by the media, and I'm not going to slag the media off because of what the media did for me, which was fantastic, but I think the media have just scaremongered, and they keep referring it to as the Spanish flu. Well, the Spanish flu was influenza, commonly cured by Vicks and Beechams, which weren't around 100 years ago. So we've came on leaps and bounds in 100 years, and we've just had a massive bomb dropped where there's actually only over 1,000 people died of some sort. So 47,000 people died. If that was true, would they not be all making their voices heard?
Aye.
Yeah.
Because I can't hear them, unfortunately. Unfortunately, fair one to my heart goes to those who have died.
Yeah.
I'm really, really sorry and for those family members, but I think we've been told the biggest lie, and there is and I think the COVID-19 is a red herring for something bigger.
Yeah.
Death.
You've just got to open your eyes and not believe everything you see on social media, which unfortunately a lot of people does this day and age. And my advice to them is stop believing what you see on social media, switch off from the news,
get out into the real world,
into the nice, big, beautiful world, and then live it.
I really honestly think it's been tampered with. That's why it's killing healthy people, then it's killing unhealthy people. It's...
If you sit in your house all day, every day, constantly cleaning things and keep being scared, you are going to knock your own defence system.
Yeah.
That's what annoys me.
I do not put alcohol gel on constantly because it will destroy my own hand's defence system. You need an immune system.
That's it. I've been preaching this to everybody. Look, you need immune boosters. There's not enough being told. Like, look, immune system is everything. You need your boosters, your vitamins. They're
not saying this. They're saying wear a mask, wear a mask, wear a mask. Well, and I'm not being I was in Aldi today and I had to put my mask on. Yeah, it's not great because you're breathing in your own carbon dioxide, which isn't healthy. And I understand it's to protect others and yourself. I understand that. However, you can't, just because someone coughs, go, oh, they've got the virus.
Yeah, yeah.
What if
Yeah.
they're a smoker? What if
Exactly,
they've got
yeah.
asthma or something
Yeah.
like that? You can't generalise everyone, and you can't tarnish everyone with the same paintbrush. I think people are scared. They're in the fear bubble, and I do believe they need to get out of this fear bubble. They need to switch off from social media, you know, and TV, and just live their life.
Yes.
I was sick of hearing people saying, I can't see my family, I can't. You can. Stand at the gate while they're stood at the door. You can see them because it's there.
Aye.
It's mental, and it reassures you because you can physically see them with your own eyes that they're okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're still doing your social distancing.
It's reassuring.
And it's reassuring. I was very sceptical at the beginning, just like everyone else. My mum's a high priority.
Yeah.
My dad is as well. So I was not seeing them. And then I went, you know what? I spent 4 years with not seeing my family. Sod this.
Aye.
I'm going to see them. And guess what? My family's fine.
Yeah.
And I've mixed with everyone. I did stick with the rules. I did go out more than once because I'm forgetful, so I might have had to go to the shop more than once. But I wasn't going into people's kitchen parties
Aye.
on a Friday night
Yeah.
and this, that and the other. I wasn't going to these illegal raves. I don't even really have a social life nowadays. But I stuck to the rules where I thought I'm doing no harm. I'm not really coming into contact with a lot of people. And the big thing that is funny is the turnaround say obesity gives you the higher risk factor, yet they open all the fast food restaurants before the gyms, where the gyms
Aye.
predominantly promote healthy way of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Done things backwards.
They've done.
Phantasm, man.
I was in the gym yesterday, and there was hardly anyone in because of the weather.
Yeah.
If you're at work doing, say, a 9-to-5 job and it's beautiful weather, unless you're really hardcore and going to the gym, you'll go to the gym after work. Most people will go, beer garden, let's go there. Or I'll go to the shop and get a couple of cans. That's what they do. And I've witnessed that even before all this COVID happened. I've experienced this before I even went to India.
Well, they say sunlight automatically kills it. That's what they say.
Aye. It's
Automatically kills it. That and vitamin D.
Well, your mind can kill it by just ignoring it.
And that's
the
another
style.
thing as well.
But I'm not trying to come across as
Ignorant.
ignorant.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
man.
There is people who have died of COVID-19, but
You treat your body nice.
at the end of the day,
You'll be
they're really the elderly with health,
Yeah, yeah.
and unfortunately, they've been treating COVID-19 as a natural cause death, to where you don't have to do a post-mortem. So
Yeah, yeah.
where people are saying, well, they died with no underlying health issues. I'm thinking, you do a post-mortem, we'll see how healthy they are.
Yeah.
You would expect this type of level of lockdown and how they've acted for an Ebola type situation.
Yeah.
But-
Apparently New Zealand's just gone back into lockdown because 4 people have tested positive. I think that's an overreaction on the greatest scheme.
Of the
But
grandest of skills.
but
It's taking the piss a bit, that like.
there's more people in London than there is New Zealand. So work that out. There's about 4 million people in New Zealand or something. There's about 12 in London. So UK, the mass populated areas, yes, you're going to struggle with them. Towns and stuff like that,
Yeah.
less. But stick to the guidelines. Do what you need to do to ensure you and your family's safe, and that's it. And the quicker we do this, the quicker we can get back to normality. Because
That's it.
I
though,
don't
innit?
want this.
Get our economy
No
booming
one-
again. and-
Yeah, life back to normal.
That's what everyone wants, life to go back to normal. People are saying, oh, well, they're only caring about the economy and this, that, and they don't care about people's lives. I'm thinking, well, if there was no money and we had no economy, how can you put food on your table?
That's exactly what I
With
mean.
leaves. Unless you're a vegan, but never mind. But you need money to
Yep,
put
you do.
food on the table,
Definitely.
unfortunately. But yeah, I hope this nightmare of a year comes to an end quite swiftly, because it's disrupted so many people's lives, and mental health has been there's been so many people taking their lives
Yeah,
down on lockdown due to this COVID-19, and it's a very, very touching thing to me, because I know a few people who've suffered. Yeah, granted they're still together, but they've really, really hit low parts of their lives during lockdown, and they feel like there's no help out there, and there is help out there. There's definitely help out there. You've just got to try and help yourself as well.
To find that help.
I have had to, I wouldn't say bite the bullet as such, but put my pride to one side and seek help myself, because I'm luckily, I'm able to address myself. Look, Nick, you need help. My family are saying it's about time, because they say it's the people that are your family and friends say it before you.
Yeah.
But
you've got to want that help before you can even take that help.
Acknowledge that there's a problem there first. That's the first.
Well, I know there's a problem. It may be just minor, but I have had some dark thoughts. At first I thought it was just a dream, but I actually was still awake.
Oh, all right.
And it was down to a T. I had everything planned, and when you have them thoughts going through, you know there's something wrong and you need to address it, and it's not nice. And anyone who feels in a bad way, please seek help.
Aye. It's okay to not to be okay, isn't it?
It is. It's you know, I try and have a happy medium.
Yeah.
It's so easy to be negative. It's so hard to be positive.
It's challenging.
It's a challenge, and I'll take that challenge straight on, head on. I've got to do it for me own sanity, but most importantly for my family, because my family don't want to see me spiral out of control.
Nah.
And that goes for every other person who is suffering out there. Please seek help.
I know we don't see them struggles, Nick, but I think you're doing absolutely great for what you've been through, and how you're dealing with everything,
Aye, definitely.
like you say, head on.
You're an inspiration yourself,
You are
mate,
a very big inspiration to everybody.
I talk about my problems. I don't bottle them up.
Yeah.
The good thing is I don't let anger... My anger's in Pandora's box.
Yeah.
And it's been there since I got told about my mum in prison. You know, when you're having to walk back to your compound, nearly a mile walk with a letter, and you're getting stones thrown at you by Indian prisoners, and you're walking like in a tunnel vision and you're battling the red mist. If I let Pandora's box open and release my anger, that's it. Game over. It's game over for me. I will not be able to control it. It's in there for a reason. I'll rather sit and sulk and pick myself up, or have my family go, come on, Nick, think of something more positive. Like I say, it's so easy to feel negative, but it's so hard to feel positive. That's why I'm trying to live my life as a happy medium.
Yeah.
But it's okay to have a few down days.
It is.
Because it's like you're recharging, you're getting rid of the bad, you're expressing your feelings. Like I say, we're only human, we have emotions. And you've just got to think happy thoughts. I know it sounds daft to a lot of people, but try and do stuff in your life that makes you feel happy. The gym for me is my happy place. That's why when we were in prison, we ripped flagstones out of the ground and start chiseling a hole. We made a Flintstone gym, because that's what passed the time. That's what made me feel happier. That, obviously in lockdown I had a few little dumbbells and weights and resistance bands, so I was able to keep a little routine going, because I would have gone crackers otherwise, because like I say, the gym for me is a big thing when it comes to mental health. Other people have other things. People like to say go fishing or go for long endurance runs. But if you're feeling down, try and do something there and then to make you feel happy. I go and speak to my dad. He must be sick of me. I always ring him, I'll see him, and the dog, When I was in India, I used to Skype just so I could see the dog because she was only a little puppy at the time and I didn't want to have to forget us. So when I literally see the dog, she just is in bursting with
all emotion. And
she's all emotional and just licking me to death and everything. It just shows the love, you know, and just little things like that. It's just great. But, you know, if you're feeling down, seek help.
Right, on that note, I would love to speak to you for many, many more hours, Nick, but unfortunately
it's
we're
difficult.
condensed into time. Today, as always, we're brought to you by Mr. Bloom Black Oil Seed Mechanics, also Spartan BK FightClub lads. They've got some shows coming up soon, fingers crossed. Also brought to you by NuHemp.co.uk. They're a CBD company, like I said before. They've got many products ranging from gummy bears, vape cartridges, balms, creams, everything. That's NuHemp.co.uk.
On my side, we've got the YOLO Lounge. Once again, Paul and Rachel, thank you for everything you've done. The Governor Sports and Nutrition, Hanker Supplements, and Empire Prints. And if you haven't already, get on Amazon. Get yourself a copy of Survive and Hell.
Also, like to give a big shout out to AK Live, Fersen, Shane.
Alright, the boys we're looking fresh in this brand new studio, so we cannot ask for much more.
Big shout out to them. Thanks, guys. Don't forget to click, subscribe, and like.
That's it, like.